there's no doubt that Setsuko is clearly a strong player, but when it comes to a tournament performance, like you notice, I put 3 minuses next to that name on this list. I put 7 on Nubal very disappointedly. I feel like my emotions kind of got the flare of me there. I definitely feel like that Nubal is just he just hasn't had the opportunity yet. But for Setsuko here, I'm not putting him in my top 8. I'm just not doing it. Like, he's very good. He's very strong. If you want to know who the strongest players on the ladder are, yeah, Setsuko's definitely going up there. The guy crushes it. Tournament performance, until I see it, I am never putting him in my top 8. And I'm not even kidding on this one. You want to talk about hot topics here? Setsuko is not in my top 8. It's not even a consideration in my mind.
I'm going to go to bat for Setsuko here because I think that 6 months ago, I would have agreed with you. But I think that Setsuko has had some pretty good performances in the last 6 months. Like, I forget, was it second or third at Challenger Series for Set 6? I remember he could have gotten second place if he had forfeited one of the games or something like that, where he could have placed second and then he actually played the game out and then somehow got a worse placement or whatever it was. He had a good result at Challenger Series. I know he made final day at mid-set finale. I don't remember exactly where his placement was. Was it second or no?
Well, when I'm looking at mid-set finale here, this was 4th place. When I'm looking at the Challenger Series, it was 3rd place.
Yeah. So I would consider both of those very strong results. When I talk about Setsuko to people, I feel like his biggest issue is that he just doesn't have the win. And he's entered more tournaments from, and I'm basing this off memory, but I'm pretty confident Setsuko has entered more tournaments than anyone else in TFT, and he hasn't been able to lock in that first place finish. And because he had that string of mediocre results in sets 4 and 5, it kind of outweighed even the good results he had, like those Challenger Series that you mentioned that were in set 5. I do think, though, that Setsuko had pretty good results in set... Actually, no, I would say he had good results in set 6. He did not finish as strong as he probably needed to officially change his reputation. But I do think that Setsuko's performances in set 6 are good enough that I no longer consider him a ladder warrior. I consider him a very strong player and even a strong tournament player who's just significantly better on ladder than he is on tournament, mainly because he's just the best ladder player in North America. So I don't know. I think it's fair to put Setsuko. I mean, I put Setsuko 3rd, which I think is probably a little high. Maybe it depends. We'll have to see. But I want to give him some credit because I do believe that Setsuko's on the trajectory of being able to figure out how to tie his strength on ladder into the flashes of strength that we've seen in tournament. And if you can figure that out, I think that we're going to see a whole new side of Setsuko moving forward.
Oh, I have no doubt about that angle. Like, that take I think is spot on. But I'm on the ladder warrior side.
Yeah.
I think it's just, it's hard to say that you're having a string of low rolls when you finish as high as this guy does on the ladder. Like, it's not even close.
True.
Like, he's stomping everybody. It's enormous. Like, now granted, the amount of games you play here is going to be a big differential for that, but just I don't think the tournament scene's there. I feel like his tournament finishes, they're good. But that's it. Like, does that highlight a player for me? Oh, the tournament finishes are good. That's just the way that I see it at this point. Like, every single time I tune in anywhere where we're talking about TFT players, so it's Setsuko. And I'm like, when the fuck is this guy going to get a win? All right. Like, I want to see
It's hard to get a win, though.
It's very hard. But like you said, this guy has entered so many tournaments.
He has.
And he's crushing it everywhere. I genuinely feel like this isn't, granted, it technically is an assumption from my perspective, but I genuinely feel like the pressure's a lot on Setsuko when it comes to this tournament setting. And I feel like he's missing something. Something is not there when he's playing on tournaments that is there when he is playing on ladder. And honestly, that could be the stakes, even though the stakes are pretty low. It's like a reputational stake at that point. Just, it's a pure mental perspective, I think. Because he clearly has what it takes to get there. Why isn't he getting there?
No, it's true. I mean, the answer is, one, the lobby strength is going to be different ladder versus tournament. But I still think, the point you're making about, like, why can this guy 19 out of 20 top 4 on ladder and then go bot 4 6 games in a row in tournament? Obviously, that's hyperbolic. I'm exaggerating, but that's not something we've never seen before. I remember in set 5 we saw that with Nubal, who at the time was just completely dominating the ladder. It really did feel like he was averaging 16 to 17 top fours out of his last 20 at all points during the season. And then he would enter tournaments and go bot 4 out of 6. And yeah, it probably is ladder strength, but honestly, I don't know. I mean, a lot of top players would probably say that they're playing really strong lobbies on ladder. And if they're going to make the argument that they're playing in a lot of, like, I know that's a take that Asa had where he said, oh, a lot of people don't realize how strong these lobbies are when we're playing in ladder. The way I see it, if you're going to make the argument that you're playing strong enough lobbies on ladder for it to weigh into rankings, then you also have to hold the opinion that when you bot 4 in tournament 4 out of 6 games, then it's because you didn't play as well as you play on ladder. You can't have it both ways. It's either that the lobbies aren't strong enough on ladder or that you just aren't performing in tournament. You can't have the excuse in your favor in both directions.
I'm going to try to take the excuse in both ways in my favor. I'm going to demand more every single time, but I'm with you on that regard. Like we're doing review right now. I'm not tied into this top player strength shenanigans that's going on, but I don't see it. If you want my opinion, Setsuko is not doing well in Astral Cup. Full stop.
Oh man. Oh gosh. All right. I'm not with you there. I think that Setsuko, I think this kind of tournament works in Setsuko's favor. It's an open bracket event. He will have players who are not in the top 32 in his lobbies, especially like on that day 3 when he's going to be competing against 32 other players that were not floated into the final day. So I think that Setsuko, it's pretty safe in my mind that Setsuko makes it to final day here. I think. I want to say that's true, but I
can feel you leaning towards my side, though. I can feel it. Admit it, Gangly. This was truly the mistake in your top 15 list here.
No. That was not
Come to the dark side.